Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them. Protect them.
These teenage years can be tricky to navigate, especially when it comes to teaching my son about managing money. I'm thankful for helpful tools like Sidekick from Max. With Sidekick, requesting and rewarding money is easy. He can earn it by completing chores, making honor roll, or simply making a request from his own app. I love that I can easily monitor his purchases and set limits to help him learn to make smart choices with his spending, even on video games. Sidekick. Find it in your Max app.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Good morning and welcome to Today in LA. I'm Mike Amos. He's Forrest Lee as we start a Tuesday on our show. And of course,
good morning.
We're on the eve of Troy University's big football game this weekend with Marshall. And it's going to be what I hope a record crowd at Veterans Memorial Stadium. What do you think?
Well, today's the 20th day of September. It's Tuesday, so Charleston will be playing Thursday night there against St. James of Montgomery. And then they'll have a day to clean up the stadium, and then the Marshall kickoff is at 6 o'clock, I believe.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have a packed crowd.
And
Alabama plays at home, Auburn plays at home, so sometimes that may or may not affect the crowd, but two pretty good teams rolling in from the Sun Belt Conference. Marshall lost last week, and of course we lost a heartbreaker.
But you're exactly right.
It's a big game for the conference.
But I would think both of them, with Marshall and Troy both losing last week, both of them are going to be really on their high horse when they come into Veterans Memorial Stadium in Troy next Saturday afternoon at 6 o'clock.
I don't know how the health of your linebackers are.
I don't know. That's right.
We had a couple.
That's right, and that really cost us because they had a real strong running attack. That would have made Troy even stronger last week with those guys, but without them, they did a pretty good job. They fought them well, and they, of course, lost a heartbreaker. That one will be embedded in our minds for time to come. Mike Amos will be calling in from his perch in Graton Beach, Florida, and because I was down there this past weekend, and it was just simply beautiful. If we would have won the football game, I would have had a great weekend. But we didn't. Of course, Phil Steele is out, and he just got his magazine on the magazine racks, and this is it right here. Phil Steele's, and everybody always says Phil Steele's is by far the most accurate. Let's see how he stands, Boris. How Phil Steele looks going in after 3 or 4 games. He's got Alabama number 1, but we know that they've moved to number 2 now. Are they 2 or 3?
2.
All right, Ohio State is second.
Got 3.
Georgia's third. You need
They're
to turn
1.
that around to the number 1. Clemson is 4 under what Phil Steele says. Michigan 5. Utah, oh boy, he lost a little bit on Utah. Notre Dame 7th, and they're off to a rocky start. Oklahoma is off to a good start. Texas A&M is not off to a good start, so they had them ranked 9th. Oregon didn't look good in their first game, but my buddy from downtown Auburn, Bo Nix had a phenomenal game last week.
Against BYU.
Yeah, passed for 3 touchdowns and ran for 2 more.
Well, he passed for 2, ran
that's
for
right.
3.
Yeah, turn that around. And
Bo Nix.
Oh, Bo, I knew he'd do it. He'd tear that league up.
Is his brother a senior quarterback this
yeah,
year?
That's
for
right.
Central, I believe.
That's right. I wonder if he's in Auburn's place. Pittsburgh is ranked 11th, and they really haven't moved either way. Miami, he's got them picked 12th, and they don't look that good. Good morning, y'all, today in L.A.
Good morning.
I was telling everybody until now, we'll tell you again, Mike, I was in the store last night, and there was Phil Steele's college 22 football forecast, and we were going over sort of how Phil had them picked compared to the way they started off.
Yeah, I saw one of those down here the other day. I figured you'd already gotten one.
Well, yeah, so you bought me one, and I had to buy another one. Is that right?
No, I didn't buy one, but I've been ordering the Phil Steele the last few years. It's crazy how hard it is to get those.
Yeah. North Carolina State, so I reckon so far. I'm not looking at it.
North Carolina State's undefeated.
All right. Baylor started off on a low limb. They lost. And Oklahoma State I think they won everybody. Won so far, but they haven't played anybody.
Yeah, BYU kind of got exposed this weekend against Oregon.
Yeah.
And, they had just beaten Baylor in double overtime.
Yeah, BYU will host Wyoming this week.
And a team that
Wyoming beat Air Force, and everybody thought Air Force was really good.
Yeah.
Air Force was 17-point favorite.
I know it. Number 16, can you believe that? USC is ranked 16 in his poll. And you like them maybe to be in the Final Four. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, if they can find any kind of defense, it's crazy. They got Shane Lee starting linebacker, and Shane Lee is a transfer from Alabama and was about third-string linebacker at Alabama, but is starting at USC.
Yeah.
So that tells you that Alabama had a lot of depth in linebacker over the last few years.
Lincoln Riley is the new coach, and they were 4-8 last year, and definitely have improved. UCF, that's about what they stand about right now. Texas, so did they end up beating Texas El Paso or Texas?
Texas San Antonio, yeah, they won.
I heard where their quarterback may be back this week or next week.
Yeah,
he's practicing again. After the kid that got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Alabama, you want Texas to win out.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at Texas. That was a pretty close game at one time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, San Antonio was up for a while.
Yeah. Wisconsin, are they undefeated so far? Or they were beaten?
Beat by Washington State.
That's right, first ball game. Then Iowa's been beaten. UAB's been beaten. Penn State,
they'll move up.
They'll move up. They'll move way up, I would think. Michigan State, you got beat again. They lost their first 4 games or what? Is Michigan State
the first? Yeah. To Washington.
Oh, they just lost one game? I thought they had won more than that. Lost more than that, yeah.
They were number 11 going into Washington, I believe.
Wake Forest is 25th, and Cincinnati Wake Forest 24th, and Cincinnati 25th. that's probably the way it stands. But Tennessee, it will move on up. They're on up. Appalachian State was ranked 39th. Kentucky, golly, they was ranked. He had them ranked 35th, and they should have been. They've been way on up the list. Ole Miss 30th, and they've been on a roll. And of course, Air Force lost. UCLA has lost. Tennessee's won. But that's just some of the games, some of the teams. He had Auburn ranked 50th.
If you look at the Troy Ole Miss score, 28-10, and then Ole Miss goes on the road and beats Georgia Tech 42-0.
Oh,
that made Troy feel pretty good.
I would love to know Troy had to play Georgia Tech. I believe they beat Georgia Tech. I really do.
Talking about a coach's job that is going to come open. Jeff Collins has had 3 straight losing seasons, and I don't know if he'll make it through the season at Georgia Tech.
One thing on
Georgia Tech used to win consistently under Paul Johnson. I don't know why they ever got rid of him.
Yeah, I know it. But he ran the wishbone too. Ran the option. But it's interesting to see how Bill looks at it compared to other teams.
Well, Auburn hit double digits in recruiting for the 2023 class. They picked up a kid, 6'5", 285, Janaris Wilson out of Lakeland, Florida. He's a 3-star. And a Jamarion Harkless, he's 6'4", 290 from Lexington, Kentucky. He was a 3-star. So that catapults them. Well, they're number 54 overall in 247 Sports. You know, Alabama picked up another recruit. I don't have his name written down. He was
they got a kid out of Texas that was
defensive lineman.
Tackle.
Mm-hmm. Well, who's that kid? Who's their contact in Texas, Mike? How they get so many good players from Texas?
His name's Nick Saban.
Well, Sorry said his name was Nick Saban.
Freddie Roach, he used to be a great linebacker at Alabama, become one of their top recruiters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's
tell Steve I'm on Zoom if he wants to.
Yeah. Steve, Michael is on Zoom.
He's working.
I want to mention the Phil Steele is at your local newsstand, and you know it's got just gobs of information.
I think Phil needs to go ahead and just take Notre Dame out, and put them like number 50. They lost two. They almost went 0-3. They almost lost again.
You're right.
In high school, real quick, a guy by the name of Brandon Wilcox, who was let go at W.S. Neal, and they hired Hugh Fountain. Well, Escambia Academy immediately picked him up as their head coach to replace Hugh at the Escambia Academy. After a 0-3 start, he has been released as their football coach at Escambia Academy. No comments were made by either source. So, the Escambia Academy is looking for
it. Pine Level Arts is looking for a new coach as well. So, they got an interim coach, Charlie Schofield, is that right?
Yes, he's from Fort Dale. He's been on staff for about 3 or 4 years.
He was at Fort Dale for a long time?
He played at Fort Dale.
Okay.
He's from Greenville. And he's been on staff. He's the interim athletic director and head football coach.
Well,
he's already the new basketball coach too.
Yes.
You know the best thing. You know the best thing he could do is hire our buddy to come back on the staff.
Coach Allen.
Yeah, Coach Allen. That'd be a heck of a move, I think. Because I know they're good friends, aren't they? I would think. They both came from Greenville, and he's a heck of a coach.
I love Arts was already in a tough situation with their schedule, and then it's going to get worse when you got to play Montgomery Capital. Didn't you play Montgomery Capital? Hadn't even scored on.
Hadn't been scored on. Let me show you something. This is the way Phil Steele looks at Troy. Look, 2 whole pages of Troy football, and you can get it at the.
Publix?
Publix.
You got your,
Publix.
Do they have some more?
Yeah, they do have some more.
Schofield predicted the Hail Mary to happen against App State?
No, he didn't, I don't believe. But,
Coach Summerall got emotional in his press conference yesterday. I was watching it, and, almost started tearing up, talking about how much he loves God. And John Johnson, who's a great writer for the Doping Eagle, said, Coach, have you ever been a part of a game like that before? And he said, John, obviously you've never done your research on me. I was part of Kentucky's Bluegrass Miracle play against LSU. He was a redshirt freshman on that team. Guy Morris had the Gatorade dunked on him.
While it was in the air. While it was in the air.
No, not while it was in the air.
Before it was in the air, okay.
Before it even happened. And then literally next play, the LSU quarterback throws it up, gets deflected, and then the LSU receiver runs under it and goes about, I don't know, another 30 yards for a touchdown. I mean, the whole play was about 60 yards.
You know,
Bluegrass Miracle.
Well, you can think of some of the teams that have played Auburn in the past, Mike. You remember the Georgia Miracle?
That was the week before the Bama game.
And then the kick miracle too.
I mean, kick six was by far the worst. But yeah, that play against Georgia, the big guys were knocking it down too.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And the guy picked it up for Auburn and went in for a touchdown on a pass. It's been several plays.
Let's see what.
The only thing Coach Summerall regretted was the kickoff. He said the guy was not supposed to pooch kick it or squib kick it, and that was on him.
So what was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to kick a line drive kick. Not a high kick, but a line drive kick, but a deep kick. And he said that's where the confusion happened. And that he did mention the clock a few times, but he was surprised that the clock didn't tick off more than it did. But he said he does not take back the safety whatsoever. He's talked to numerous college coaches, and everybody agreed with him that the safety was the right thing to do.
Oh, I don't think they would have told him that it was the wrong thing to do. They wouldn't have had the guts. I wouldn't have had the guts.
Well, that didn't cost it against the Hail Mary.
Zach Long is the kickoff guy at Troy, and the squib kick was a huge mistake because all they had to do from the 47-yard line was basically get 20 yards, and you're lined up for a field goal to win the game.
That's right. Yeah, to win the game.
But when you listen to the App State coaches, that gave them more confidence, more momentum, only being down by 2 instead of 4. Because then you got to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Once you get on safety, they all they had to do was kick field goal, and then in altitude at 3,600 feet, that's what Boone, North Carolina is. I mean, I'm sure you could probably kick a ball a lot better up there than most places.
Was that third down Hail Mary? Or fourth down?
Fourth down.
Fourth down.
What I've read.
Yeah.
And Coach, why in the world did you do it? Because you left yourself up for a possible game-winning field goal.
Well, that didn't beat you. I mean, that decision didn't beat you with a field goal.
No, it turned out
a freak play.
That's right. It turned out that.
I mean, it's still a miracle play. I mean, App State can say all they want to in the press conference, but I mean, the coach said it, the players all said it. We practice that play every day, numerous times. Exactly what happened. That's still a miracle play. You never have done it against Troy.
Oh, I know. You're right.
Because they're interviewing KJ Robinson. You could tell he was heartbroken, and they didn't even ask him if he got a hand on the ball, but it was obvious. He jumped up, hit the ball. His hand hit the ball with the App State guy's hand at the same time. But when you bat the ball down, you never think that guy can be right there to catch it.
They looked like they had it boxed in. It seemed like they had to play boxed in, and like you said.
I will say though, when you go back and watch the play, Troy rushed 4, and in most situations you don't rush 4; you rush 3.
Yeah, and I'm glad they did rush 4.
I know, but when they rushed 4,
but they couldn't get to him there, could they?
Which was kind of surprising. He literally just rolled out to the left and had a perfect throw.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It was not.
I tell you what, that Bryce kid is the biggest class act you'll ever see. After the game was over, he went and saw all the students running onto the field. He ran over there and was picking up girls and reaching his hand out, grabbing people, helping them get over the gate onto the field. But he was actually helping fans down onto the field to celebrate. To celebrate with his teammates.
Yeah,
There's actually video. There's actually video. It's unbelievable.
Well, and did they finally get...
The guy that throws the most amazing Hail Mary touchdown pass and is literally helping fans onto the field.
Did they finally fill it all up? Did they fill it all up?
Yeah, they filled that was 34,000 people.
Yeah, I know. And so
But on camera, it looked like people had left. You know, wouldn't you have left probably?
Yeah, I know it. I would have. Yeah, oh yeah.
You followed Troy
I'd be heading to my car.
Yeah, a minute 13 seconds left. You didn't want to watch Troy celebrate.
There's a viral video of a sorority here at Troy University. I guess they were filming. They were filming themselves, and it was like they were ecstatic, and then all of a sudden it was like,
oh boy. Yeah, and that was on a national video or what?
Yes, a national.
It's national news.
I don't know what sorority that was, but it looks like they were in their chapter room here at Troy University.
Yeah. Boy.
And
yeah, you know that's the thing to do. You got to video your whole life.
Oh boy, I tell you, that's sad. That's sad, no question.
I mean, Troy should have a great crowd this weekend though against Marshall. Looks like the lowest could be good. The high's 89, low's 63. So maybe we'll have a good crowd.
Yeah,
I'll actually be there. I'll be there. My whole family.
Hey, you've been taking.
My sister and her daughter are gonna be there.
Hey, you've been taken care of, son.
you're rolling in Thursday night,
No,
Friday.
I'm rolling in Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
What? Wait a minute. You mean it's too good to stay at my house on Thursday night? I mean Friday night.
We got some friends coming in from Mississippi down here that my wife wants to go to dinner with, so we gotta hang out with some people on Friday night.
If you decide not to go, let me know. I can give those tickets away to a lot of people.
No, we're definitely going. The girls want to see Macon.
All right. Well, whatever. I'm going to see Macon today.
I'm going to try to get back and watch, or try to get in town to watch some of those games too. You got Tennessee, Florida. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be in the stadium club, so you're going to have TVs all over the place up there.
Yeah, Alabama Vanderbilt's at 6 o'clock, 6:30. Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Auburn
forgot.
plays at 11.
See, I forgot that.
Feinbaum's already come out and said that Auburn's going to fire Hartson. And then I was listening to a show nationally yesterday, and Reese Davis came on, the ESPN guy. Of course, he's from Muscle Shoals, and he said it's just a done deal. It's just a matter of time before Auburn fires Hartson. So apparently Auburn's going to get a new football coach.
Well, how many?
That's two pretty big names to come out and say that it's over.
Yeah. Well, I know if he loses the ball game, if he loses this game, which he could, Missouri's a pretty good team. Let me read something, Mike.
Alabama at Arkansas is going to be CBS at 2:30. So that's going to be a huge game. It looks like it's going to be undefeated Alabama and possibly undefeated Arkansas. Arkansas might get beat by A&M this weekend, though.
Is that in 2 weeks you're talking about, though, aren't you?
Yeah, October 1st in Arkansas will be the 2:30 kick. Yeah. Alabama, Arkansas, on CBS.
Yeah, I was reading what Phil Steele said about our quarterbacks. He says, coming into the 21-year, Gunnar Watson returned and started 9 games and threw for 2,100 yards. Then Troy added a guy that was ranked at one time 25th overall by Phil Steele. He says here, it says about Taylor Powell, the kid that left Troy. He said he then transferred, but it says Powell left Eastern Michigan, and so he left the starting role up for Watson. Then the Utah transfer Peter Costello. It seemed like they could use a running type quarterback in certain situations. And then Quade Hawkins, a kid from Bainbridge, Georgia, were the quarterbacks, and now they brought in, what's the kid's name from
name's Davey.
Yeah, Davey, the kid from West Virginia. That was,
he got beat out by the kid from West Florida. And I was watching that kid for Western Kentucky. That's going to be another really tough game for Troy to play.
And where's the quarterback come from? Where's the quarterback
He came
come
from West Florida. He won a national championship at West Florida.
And he's at Western Kentucky.
But he's a really good looking quarterback. You know, they went to overtime with Indiana. Western Kentucky did and got beat.
Yeah. Well, he's a pretty good football player. I know that.
You're talking about Missouri.
They lost the job there, but he was a starter at West Virginia.
There she is,
Mike.
Mike.
Yes, hey there, Millie. Hey, good morning.
She fell and busted her chin last night.
Oh, bless her heart. She's a tough little old girl, though. She's strong as an ox. She's a little 4-year-old. Her name is Millie. And hey, Millie, you're on TV, Millie. Wave. Wave, you're on TV. Yeah, she's there with her daddy.
You're talking about Missouri. They beat Louisiana Tech 52-24. They lost to Kansas State 40-12, and they beat Abilene Christian 34-17.
Yeah.
I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah, and it turns around and they lose last week, didn't they?
No,
We're talking about
Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah, no, they lost the week before to Kansas
Okay.
State.
Oh,
They're 2-1.
Kansas State got beat at home by Tulane.
I know, and Tulane beat them at home. So Tulane must be pretty good.
Beat Kansas State.
Yeah, that's right.
It makes you think that Kansas State coach is already wanting that Nebraska job.
Yeah, that's
Southern
right.
Miss plays at Tulane.
Yeah, and he lost the kid. The head coach lost last week, didn't he?
Will Matthews did not win the money. University of Texas San Antonio got beat 41-20 by Texas.
They came back, didn't they?
That line was 12.
Uh-huh. But it's a lot of fun to look at all this.
Auburn doesn't know who their quarterback's going to be this weekend. That's always a good sign.
Oh boy.
There's an article about that.
Why don't they bring in the kid from
Hoover, Robbie Ashford?
Well, either him or the kid who played at A&M. Yeah, Calzana.
If you're at Auburn right now, though, I mean, how can you not figure out who your quarterback's going to be already?
I know it. Of course,
I watched the Milrow kid against La Monroe. Alabama's back up, and then the Simpson kid. I think eventually the Simpson kid will beat out Milroy.
the coach's son.
The proven passer, in my opinion.
Is that the 5-star coach's
Yeah,
son?
the guy's dad, the head coach, Tennessee Martin.
Yeah.
You know, after Auburn plays Missouri, it is going to be tough with LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas. They're all ranked. Then it's Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Western Kentucky, and then Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
But we got to win this game against Missouri.
You know, I should have known that Mike Leach would lose to Brian Kelly. You know, Mike Leach always loses to the better coach.
Yeah.
And if you have athletes, you can stop that spread offense. You know, I mean, Alabama, you know, when they played them last year, they just blew Mississippi State out because, you know, man to man, each one of their athletes is better on defense than their offensive guys. And they don't stretch the field. You know, if you're watching Mississippi State, literally the farthest throw they make is about 25 yards.
Yeah. I think I really believe as a coach.
LSU's going to be tough when Alabama has to play.
I look at
that quarterback for LSU is starting to look really good.
Yeah. I think that he'll go down in history as the comedian coach.
Yeah, he you know, won at Washington State when he had Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
Who was at Troy of all places. Is now, you know, a backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
I tell you what, though, I don't know if he'll ever win that job because Jalen Hurts looks pretty good.
Oh, Hurts looks great.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Anytime a quarterback can be mixed, be able to pass and throw. dual threat.
When is the last time we've heard of 3 Alabama quarterbacks, or maybe more, starting quarterbacks in the NFL
That's right.
who are a big factor?
That's right.
There may be more.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have Bryce Young starting somewhere next year. So you'll have Bryce Young, Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. How about our other guy that's been a backup all these years? Will he ever make it?
AJ?
He blew out his knee. He's done probably.
But
He's trying to get on a couple of teams this year to get on.
He's not on the roster.
No, he's 32 now though.
Is he and his wife still together?
Yeah, Mark Ingram still running the ball. He's 32.
Is he?
Yeah, Mark Ingram rushed over 8,000 yards in the NFL.
I did not realize that. I didn't realize that. You know, he wins the Heisman Trophy, and we just sort of ignore him a little bit.
Oh, he's always been one of my favorite players. I'll never forget. I was with Neil Green to share. We were at practice his freshman year before the season, and I was watching him run in the scrimmage. I said, "Man, there is something different about that kid." I mean, just the way he saw the hole, how fast he hit it.
That's right, yeah.
He was a phenomenal running back.
A friend of mine, of course, Mike knows him, Claude Giddens.
Yeah.
When he was coaching in Georgia, he carried his son, Zach. Zach was just a little bitty fella, and they were allowed to go to an Alabama football practice. This was during December before the playoffs.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So he went over there, and, of course, you got to be quiet and practice.
Yeah.
So they knocked on this door, and that they weren't sure how to get into the facility. Well, they opened the door, and there's Mark Ingram getting taped. So he took time with Zach, his little son.
Yeah.
And he said he shook his hand, and Claude called me and said, "I don't think Zach wants to wash his hands anymore after meeting Mark Ingram."
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, this weekend, Kamara didn't play for the Saints, and Ingram rushed the ball 10 times for 60 yards. I mean, that's 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
That's 2 Alabama connections.
Sure is. I watched a little of that one last night.
Brady won that game. You know, they're 2-0. And then I noticed Julio was out. Didn't even play. He's already hurt again.
And then
Julio's last 3 years, he can't stay healthy.
What, for Maryland?
No, Julio Jones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Mike Evans, the other wide receiver, got in a tussle. He may be suspended for a game. I'm not sure.
How tall?
He went out there and knocked that guy to the ground.
But Mike, how tall is he, Mike?
6'5".
6'5". All right. Now, who's the?
He was the great receiver for Johnny Manziel at A&M.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mike Evans.
That's something. You don't even think of that, but I'm sure Manziel got the benefit of that.
Yeah, can you imagine how much money Johnny Manziel would have made in name, image, likeness if they had that back when he was at school?
Oh, yeah. I've hated.
He already made a bunch of money illegally signing autographs.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here are the high schools. There's 17 states that allow NIL in high school. 17 states that allow it. Alaska.
Tell us what.
Name, image, and likeness.
Right.
That a high school student can make money and keep his eligibility. Because in Alabama, you cannot. You cannot make money as a amateur athlete in the Alabama High School Athletic Association.
Now you're going to have people moving out of the state of Alabama.
All right. Here are the states. Alaska allows it. California, Colorado, Connecticut, Washington, D.C. It's not a state, but they allow it. Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Nebraska, North Dakota, New Jersey, New York, and Utah allow NIL deals for high school students.
There was none in this area, none in the SEC potential schools. You're right.
None in the South.
But none in the South. That's right. But I could see some kids moving out of the state though to play so they can get that. You reckon?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, hey, when you're talking about big money, you would think so. I guarantee you this.
They do in basketball, I think.
Yeah, I would.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Is Maryland on there? No, I don't say Maryland.
Yeah. But I'm glad to see that.
It's crazy. Eastern Michigan, I just read, beat Arizona State, and that led to Herm Edwards getting fired. And Powell got the start. He was 10 of 14 for 93 yards and 1 interception, which is not great numbers. But they had a running back from Eastern Washington rush for 260 yards against Arizona State.
For Powell's team.
And Eastern Michigan beat Arizona State at Arizona State.
Portal. He will never play again at that level until after the season's over.
Yeah, you're saying the Eastern Michigan running backs?
Yeah.
They also had a backup quarterback that either threw for a touchdown or rushed for a touchdown. I don't know if Powell got hurt or they just have dual quarterbacks, but he was part of.
Named Austin Smith that was 4 for 8 for 60 yards, but Powell only threw for 93 yards and threw an interception. But Emory Jones, the former Florida quarterback, is starting quarterback at Arizona State.
Golly, isn't it amazing?
And his backup quarterback is Paul Bear Bryant Tyson.
Oh,
at Arizona State. So I would imagine Paul Bear Bryant Tyson will probably transfer again out of Arizona State.
Yeah.
Look for him to show up at UAB, I would think.
Yeah.
He's from Birmingham.
Yeah, I know. Is he a pretty good player?
Well, I mean, he was running 3rd or 4th string at Alabama, and now he's running 2nd string at Arizona State.
Yeah. And the coach had gone, and this is not his first time for getting
Edwards is out.
Yeah.
A lot of implications about.
Yeah, I mean, Herm Edwards is 70 years old. It was a strange hire when they hired him.
Yeah.
And one of the names that's surfacing out there is Harsin.
Yeah, Brian Harsin.
Because he's from the West.
Yeah.
And
you know how that name is surfacing out there? That's his agent. Brian Harsin's agent trying to get him out of Auburn.
Oh yeah. Boy, don't you know he would love to get that. He'd take that buyout right now, I believe.
I'll tell you what, college sports is just like scrambled eggs. Tomorrow you may have fried eggs. Tomorrow you may have omelet. I mean, it's just a scrambled with all things going on with college sports.
Mike, this guy
NIL.
Mike, this guy for This guy that rushed for 260 yards.
No.
The guy that rushed for 260 yards. Could he, if he quit his team right now, and could he get on the portal and be picked up by somebody, not to play, but for next year?
I mean, you can transfer anytime, Dad.
Yeah.
Sit out.
Yeah.
You can't play right now.
Oh, I know he couldn't play. But he could actually be a member of the portal and actually be picked up by a team before the season's over. But he can't play, you know.
All right, if Harsin was fired within the range from November 27th to December 31st, his buyout would be between $15 million to $15.3 million.
Okay.
Is guaranteed.
Guaranteed money.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Harsin and Auburn agreed to a 6-year deal worth a total of $31.5 million back in 2020.
And what was his buyout? You told us
Buyout
that.
15.3.
Okay. Well, so how many years left on his contract?
4.
All right, so he could definitely get that big buyout. So he can start smiling because they're gonna get him, and somebody's gonna pick him up. But now, if he goes on a buyout, doesn't he have to stay out of coaching for a while, or
no, that's not long. Did he stay out of coaching?
Yeah, no, you're right.
I think
get a job right away. The university you go to doesn't have to pay as much.
No. Here's what happens. Say if a school hires him for, say, $1 million a year. Well, then Auburn has to pay minus $1 million what they owe him.
Yeah.
Isn't it words to that effect? You know, you can go sign a contract, but then Auburn's still obligated the amount above the contract that you just signed for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
words to that effect.
Whoever gets him very cheap, because Auburn's basically paying him.
Yeah, but so
you don't have to pay it. You don't have to pay him near as much.
If he goes somewhere else, yeah. But if he doesn't go anywhere else, he gets the full $15 million, doesn't he?
He gets the full $15 million guaranteed regardless.
Oh,
It's just like Chiswick. Is he still being paid by Auburn? I think so. So what?
Pat Dye got paid for about 100 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever he's making at the school that he's at, is it North Carolina or North Carolina State?
North Carolina.
At North Carolina, then Auburn's paying the remaining amount that they owe him.
We're going to take a short break right now. Our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks on the bypass in Troy. And I was about to see Jason yesterday. Saw footage of his beautiful girls riding those horses. Boy, they are talented riding those horses. And of course, he showed it to me, and I know he's a proud papa with those three outstanding young girls. I want to mention Troy Bank and Trust Company. The only bank you'll ever need is Troy Bank and Trust Company. We'll be back.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them. Protect them.
These teenage years can be tricky to navigate, especially when it comes to teaching my son about managing money. I'm thankful for helpful tools like Sidekick from Max. With Sidekick, requesting and rewarding money is easy. He can earn it by completing chores, making honor roll, or simply making a request from his own app. I love that I can easily monitor his purchases and set limits to help him learn to make smart choices with his spending, even on video games. Sidekick. Find it in your Max app.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
That's what I meant, yeah. We're back, Mike.
All right, back to play here at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, where the Auburn Tigers are going to go head-to-head with the Missouri Tigers right here on Troy Cable. Auburn Tigers getting ready to make up for all the shortcomings and going to win the rest of the year. Auburn Tigers. And so you can tell he's getting ready, and hopefully, you couldn't see him, though, could you?
Before we jump into sports, I wanted to mention this. I read this in the Troy Messenger online. The American Legion Auxiliary Unit 70 held an appreciation dinner for the girls' state representatives in Pike County a couple of nights ago. They honored Tate Gardner from Pike Liberal Arts, Kayla Perez Hernandez from Pike County High School, Haley Qualls from Goshen High School, and A.C. Hawkins from Charles Henderson High School. And, the girls' state was held at Troy University, but they were honored in a supper the other night. And I taught A.C., but I know Tate because I'm at Pike Liberal Arts.
Yeah.
I know her family on both sides of her family. And Haley Qualls, her dad and I go way back from the Goshen days. So congratulations to those young ladies.
I'm getting ready to Troy on Saturday morning, Dak, because Auburn and Missouri is at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
It's breakfast at Jordan-Hare?
That's right.
11 o'clock kick on ESPN. Auburn is a 7.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
Well, I think the Tigers are going to win.
Well, tell me about...
of course, our good buddy Neil Brown will play on Thursday night against Virginia Tech.
Yeah, if he doesn't lose, if he doesn't win that one, he's gonna be in trouble. He really is. And I hate
Brown,
it.
in West Virginia, 2.5-point favorite.
Alabama, the Crimson Tide of Alabama goes head-to-head with Vanderbilt. The Commodores come to town, and that's going to be a 6:30 kickoff from Bryant Denny. It's going to be a great one. Alabama and Vanderbilt. We'll see you there watching you on TV. We might watch them on
favorite,
TV.
Vanderbilt Alabama game in Tuscaloosa will always be in 1994. My best friend Richard Calhoun played for the Vandy Commodores, and he was dressed out for Vanderbilt, running out of the tunnel against Alabama in Bryant Denny Stadium.
That's right.
I'll never forget that.
He felt funny, I reckon, didn't he?
Playing for Jerry DiNardo in Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What was the position? A punter or?
No, he's a defensive end,
Richard was a
linebacker.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, he was.
He had a full scholarship to Vanderbilt. He chose Vanderbilt over Mississippi State and Duke. So he had Duke and Vandy offering him a football scholarship.
I think I want to say Georgia Tech offered him too. I might be wrong.
Yeah, Georgia Tech offered Brian Thomas, so they maybe offered him as well.
Yeah.
How big a boy was he?
6'3", about 215, 220.
He could run and everything, and a great student. I mean, he was probably
He made a 31 on that ACT.
Yeah, pretty smart.
I made a 35.
Did you really?
When you add both of them together.
Oh. Let's let it make it clear. He said I made 35 when you added both of them together.
A 15 and a 20.
Yeah.
I took the 15 when I was a sophomore.
I was with my buddy one night, Jeff Green, this guy that has a place out here at the beach, and we're good friends from Birmingham. And John went to Texas A&M, and his wife was just talking one day, and like the guy that never brought it up, but the guy made a 36 on his ACT.
Oh man, that's as good as you can make, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I mean that's crazy smart to make a 36. I think the basket kid on Crow Hill made a 36, didn't he?
Sure did.
Oh yeah. Blake Bassett. He's in. Is he still in Oregon?
That's where he's out there with all those.
So. That's Richards and.
His daddy lives right across the street from me, and.
Richard and his mother's.
Pam.
Yeah.
Pam Bassett. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
And then his sister's married to Adam Helms.
That's right.
He's got.
Very beautiful young lady, no question about it. Of course, we got a lot of good high school games coming up. We mentioned earlier that Charles Henderson and the St. James of Montgomery will play on a Thursday night. That should be a good football game. I'm looking forward to it.
St. James are coming here well coached.
Should have way more athletes.
But St. James, can get them from all sorts of places, though,
Yeah, I didn't realize Perry had been there that long. Boy, he's been coaching there for at least 15 years.
Yeah, I didn't realize it either. And, he's a good football coach, no question, real sound coach.
Charles Henderson's got to stop that 2-point conversion. If they stop the 2-point conversion, they win the
Yeah, you're right.
I've never seen a direct snap to a running back on a 2-point conversion happen twice in the same game.
Yeah.
I mean, how in the world you let that happen again was kind of unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Boy, Dothan High School must be pretty good. They beat Smith Station last week, 57-43. Evidently they can score. Central got back on the winning circle by beating Jeff Davis 49-15. I like to just look at some of these games. Thompson looks like they're getting better again. They won 48-3 over Chelsea.
They play Clay Chalkville.
Oh man, it's gonna be a good one.
Powerhouse in 7A versus Powerhouse in 6A.
That's gonna be a good one, Mike. Clay Chalkville and
Thompson
High School of Albertville. Albertville.
No, Alabaster.
Alabaster. Wait a minute. All right, I got you. Big win for Prattville. Listen to this, 24-21 in overtime over Opelika. Opelika just beat Central, and now they lost to Prattville, so Prattville must be pretty good. And Coleman beat Lee of Huntsville. Coleman will always be good. Clay Chalkville coming off a win, beat Center Point 56-19 in the other game.
I wonder if Mark Fleetwood's still coaching at Huntsville.
Yeah, he is. I talked to him the other day. He's the head football coach at Huntsville High. How did they do?
I don't know. I can pull it up and see what the rest.
Yeah, they're a 7A team. And
Michael, when you talk about Jim Perry, he's in his 10th or 11th season. He started in 2012 at St. James. His record there is 82-36. They were 10-2 last year and 4-1 this year.
yeah.
Jimmy Perry.
Mike,
he was
you
at St. Paul's and Lee of Montgomery as well. So,
Mike, you were asking about my good friend at Huntsville High School. He beat Bob Jones 28-24. See how he's doing it up at Huntsville High School. Of course, he was outstanding to me, an outstanding assistant coach and recruiter at Troy under Coach Larry Blakeney. And he and Bud Casey sort of wore Bud Casey's shirt tail to coaching in college football.
2-2, 2-1 in the region.
Yeah.
he's 21-34 overall at that school.
But they must like him. They've kept it.
He's been having to try to rebuild that program.
Well, you know, if you look at it though, he's been there the whole time, and they must like him, you know.
He came over from Atlanta.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, looking at some more.
Then Don Jacob, apparently the offensive coordinator down at Houston Academy, doing a good job.
He sure is. They're. I want to say they're undefeated, are they?
Yeah, Eddie Brunnin's the head coach.
Yeah. Listen to this, Mike. How many times you say this? B.T. Washington, 34, Slocum, 14. B.T. Washington, Tuskegee won. They don't win much, but they beat Slocum. That surprises me.
Well, they've always had great athletes.
Yeah. Of course, Andalusia just walloped Montgomery Academy 49-7. I want to say said this about Dale County. They beat Bullock County 29-18. And Mike, I want to say this is our buddy's first win there at Dale County.
I think it's his second one. That's his first home win. You're talking about Will
Tucker.
Carter?
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Tucker.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know, the daddy was winning his high school football coach in Alabama, playing at up at that county school in North Alabama.
He's where now at Dale County?
Yeah, he's at Dale County High School. It was really surprising to me that he would leave that area and come down to coach at Dale County.
Yeah.
Luke Tucker played at Alabama.
Yeah. They've won. That was his first win.
Yeah. And don't you know they're still dancing in the streets of Pike Road because they beat Eufaula 16-10 in overtime. Don't you know the heck of a game, Mike? With those two coaches.
Sure, Rigby was happy to be his old program, old team.
Do you know one of the top assistant coaches on that team? You know who it is?
Can you follow?
Pike Road?
Yeah, at Pike Road.
And what, Ponder coaches football?
You're right. He has to coach football.
All right. You know who assistant coach is at Eufaula? Quarterback's coach.
Quarterback's coach?
Noah Lowry.
Noah Lowry.
Noah Lowry.
Golly, I didn't know that.
He's teaching there. He's also interning, but since there's a shortage of teachers, he's allowed to teach in the classroom, and he is an assistant coach on the football team.
And I tell you what,
you're
right. I bet he's a good one because you know he coached and played in some real good programs at Charles Henderson.
Yep.
And I know
he helped as a graduate. He helped as an assistant at Zion Chapel while he was in school here. He was an assistant to Randy Bryant to give him some experience. But now he's in Eufaula with Jarrell Jersey.
And I used to see him in church a lot on Sundays because his granddaddy's a great preacher at Calvary, Mac Lowry. And well, you know, I don't know if the people in Troy appreciate Mac Lowry like they should. You know, they just come out with a new book and everything, but. What a man Mac Lowry is. He's a great preacher and a great person.
And, you know, Wally's youngest son, Blake, is the backup quarterback to Parker Adams at Charles Simpson.
You're right.
He's a sophomore.
And let me tell you about him. He's not real big and he's not real tall. And, you would say, well, what does this guy do? Then you watch him throw. And, buddy, that ball comes out of his hands he's got, for a young man as big, with a not great size, he can throw a football.
Well, maybe he'll jump up like his first cousin,
Maybe
Tyler. Was it Tyler Mitchell that played at Kansas State?
Right.
About 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
He was the tallest Lowry ever did, too.
Yeah, that's.
And when went to Kansas State?
Wonder happened to Eric Montel's kid. I thought he was back up.
Well, they're both. I think they're both on the team. Bo and Bryson. I don't know.
Yeah, I was wondering
I don't think they start on either side of the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Of course, their daddy is in my mind every time I walk in that bank. He was, and such an outstanding member of the Troy University alumni. He made a lot of things happen.
Eric and Tiffany, and
he was an all-conference center at Troy too.
Oh yeah,
great player.
He and Tiffany's daughters, Cassidy and Kaylee. Cassidy's at the University of Alabama, and the other twin is at Troy University.
Yeah. Let me tell you this, Mike. They made a mistake on the score of the Charles Henderson Beauregard score. They've got them 26-14, but the actual score was 26-24, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah, they threw a touchdown pass to Boyd. He jumped up in front of two guys right in front of him, made a catch in the end zone.
And you know what? Here it is now. This is on the AP. The AP made a mistake on the score. They need to correct that because that was a lot closer ball game. But
Charles Henderson got up 14-0.
Yeah, they say that but they've got them Beauregard 26, Charles Henderson 14. It's supposed to be 26-24, I think.
I mean, if Charles Henderson could cut out the silly penalties and just little mistakes during the game, I mean, it's going to be hard for anybody in the area to beat them.
Yeah.
They might end up playing Beauregard again in the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked by that at all.
Well, I think the biggest opponent on the schedule left in the regular season is Eufaula.
Yeah.
In Eufaula.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's
It's
gonna
a
be-
heck of a game.
And I'm sure Neil and Wally will call the game. And,
You follow dressed as Jernigan and Courtney Upshaw. I think Charles Henderson's going to get beat.
Oh, yeah, that's who used to play for him. You're right.
That Eufaula trip down there, that's where Dad and I were talked into leaving the stand to go to the press box.
Eufaula, yeah.
Eufaula fans real upset. Dad forced always loved to film from the home team's stadium.
Side,
from the home field bleachers.
Because it was higher up, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
Higher up, yeah. And that was sometimes a mistake because as Charles Henderson team
the only one that really...
the one that went to the state championship that year blew out a lot of people.
St. Paul, let me just say this, St. Paul's didn't like us much. Every time we go to St. Paul's. It tickles me, though. One shocking score to me was Selma 36, Greenville 6. What has happened to Greenville High School?
Coach Quinn Hambright of Charles Henderson High School made a comment Monday. He said he just thinks it would take a while or two to get those kids to buy into how to do things. Is kind of what he said. And anywhere you go, you got to. If there's something that needs to be tightened up, and kids aren't used to getting it tightened up, well, you can play next year or go play.
Well, I will say this, that the coach, before the coach that's coaching there now, was the mayor's son. And he had never played high school football before, but did an outstanding job at Greenville High School. And I know this, somebody's catching a lot of hollering back and forth over this situation.
Well, he wasn't hired back, so.
I know it, he sure wasn't.
Coach McClendon did a good job. He played college golf at Troy.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, and I knew him well, and fine man.
Actually, I talked to him one day. He played at Jacksonville State and then transferred to Troy and finished playing college golf there.
Yeah, that's right. And
he's a guy that's not too far away. I wonder if my liberal arts wants to hire him.
Hey, not at all, no question about it. But now, right now, the coaching job is under an interim coach. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Coach. I mean, how many games does my liberal arts have left? They've already played about 5.
We have Montgomery Catholic this week.
I'm
not sure about Brooks. If we're going to Brooks, should be about 3 or 4 more games left. I can look that up here in a minute.
Any chance of a running clock against Montgomery Catholic?
That's what I was going to say. And
that usually happens in the second half, but here's their remaining schedule. Catholic this week, Brooks County, I'm not sure if we're going there. Then Faith Academy comes to Pike Liberal Arts. On October the 14th, Pike Liberal Arts is open. Then Bowden of Georgia on the 21st of October will be away. Then the last game is Calhoun at home.
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. If they could find a way, they ought to get out of that Montgomery Catholic game. They're perhaps maybe the best football team in the state at any classification.
No, we'll play them, and that's this Friday. We play them at home. It's homecoming.
Yeah. Big game. Yeah.
And going back to McClendon, in his 7 years at Greenville, he was 48 and 31.
Oh man.
And so his best year was about 3 or 4 years ago. He was 11-3. But anyway, that's a little bit about them. Yeah. But going back to Pike Liberal Arts, Coach Charlie Schofield is the interim athletic director and head football coach. And by the way, good news, Pike Liberal Arts, I went to a volleyball match yesterday, and they defeated Zion Chapel.
Okay.
We lost to them earlier in the year.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so, one key thing is we had some players who were injured in that game that are back.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot of volleyball going on this week in area schools. And but it's a tough road to hoe because the personnel, it's just you don't have much depth.
Yeah,
that's what everybody else's depth. And but they're out there and they give it their best, and that's all you can ask for. And then when the magic happens and they win that first game, that's when it all pays off, because all programs go through it down.
No question about it.
So anyway,
and there's nobody rooting for them any more than I am, and I say that being facetious about Montgomery Catholic. It looks like nobody can, like they played at Geneva. They beat them 62-0 at Geneva High School last week. In their classification, they need to be playing in a 6A or 7A classification.
They beat Charles Henderson last year 60-6.
Yeah, So it's an outstanding program there.
Montgomery Catholic, this has never happened over the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, they were always out of all the private schools in Montgomery. Probably the worst.
No question about it. It sure was. And T.R. Miller won again at Orange Beach. That was another one. And as we mentioned, Daleville and won their first game of the year. And and then Pike County. I watched some of that on Troy Cable last night. And, that was a even Steven football game the whole route. And just so happened that Coach Hurt felt like he could make those 2 points, and he failed at it. And Op wins 28-27 in a heartbreaker.
Well, the showdown in that classification of 4A will be the end of the season when Montgomery Catholic has to travel to Andalusia, but I would still give the edge.
Oh, man, I'm going to go see that one.
Yeah, that's going to be on the 21st day of October.
21st of October. That's going to be a heck of a game there.
Another local game that's been moved to Thursday night is Highland Home travels to Brantley.
Oh, me.
And one reason it was moved is what we found out last week is because to get officials, because there is a shortage of officials in high school football. But Brantley and Highland Home would tow it up this Thursday in Brantley. Then the next week, Highland Home and Luverne tie up.
Golly, man.
In Luverne.
They haven't done,
Battle of Crenshaw County.
Why don't they bring Wally and Neil out of the booth? Weren't they officials for a long time?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Both of them were officials. Wally, Neil was a referee.
Why don't they bring Mike Amos back? Can you official again?
I could probably umpire. I could umpire.
Kenny Lee, or you would
a
run
back
the
judge.
clock.
I would probably be a good back judge. And I'd be backing up every down.
My brother.
Didn't they used to offer a class like that at Troy University for us?
They
like
do.
Officiating?
They did. And
yeah.
But
it was like Dan Boswell, I think, did it.
Yeah.
I think the area lead guy now is Kevin Bryan in this area. He's got a son at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
He's got a daughter who graduated from Troy University. She, I believe, works in the athletic department of Arkansas State with compliance or something, Addison Bryan. And their mother, Mrs. Bryan, works, I believe, in the downtown in the mayor's office.
Yeah.
But they got a Trenton who's probably a freshman.
Yeah.
Eighth grader, freshman at Charleston.
I want to give.
There is a shortage.
I want to give my good friend Hugh Fountain another big hoorah with W.S. Neal beating Hillcrest of Evergreen. Evidently, Evergreen went for 2 and lost 28-27.
They're 3-2.
Yeah, that's right.
And they didn't win a game. I don't think last
that's right.
year.
That's right. Boy, he brings so much stability to a program. Isn't that
his
right?
oldest son, HT, is married and his own staff as a graduate assistant at the University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because his
Brian Benson,
his
that
son.
makes plenty of sense. You're right.
Brad's son, whoever the oldest one is, HT were in the same grade, and then Bryant started moving across country and coaching here and there. And it's all about connections.
I've always said it.
That loss to Liberty is not looking very bad for UAB now because, Liberty had Wake Forest on the road at Wake Forest.
Yeah.
And, HT graduated from a school in Kentucky, a smaller school. Well, guess what? He had a year of eligibility. So Arkansas needed a backup snapper. He snapped at Arkansas last year. Well, who was on staff? Hugh's brother, who was instrumental. Coach, let's put somebody to return the kick. When Alabama, the kick six, it was his coach. Let's put a return guy back there.
Hey, why didn't Troy have somebody in there and told him not to take the 2-point the safety, not to take. Don't take the safety. Don't take the safety. Should have been somebody.
I think Coach Summerall was pleased with the safety. He had no issue with that. It was a good pick we talked about.
But
the safety though, Watson took it from shotgun, and that Troy had the ball at the 12-yard line, so he had to run around. He ran the back of the end zone, and he tried to run away from some guys, but I feel like that would have been more than 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how long it took.
You got a home team working the clock. They might have saved a couple seconds there.
Yeah.
Well, there was years ago. I'll say this: when we played Greenville, we finally stopped them inside the 1 after about 8 tries. We had a penalty anyhow, so we were up 8-0. We get the ball back. We run 3 quick plays. I called timeout. I told the quarterback, I said, next play, take a safety. So we took a safety. It's 8-2 because if we had punted 1, I felt like they would have blocked the punt, or 2 because they would get the ball on about the 30 and run it in for a touchdown. Here we go. We're tied up. So we took a safety, and then we kicked off and held them. And I've also been behind by 2 points. I called 11 kids on the side. I said, go out there and let them score. So they're up, smart. They're up by 8, so we got a chance to do a reversal of the kickoff to tie up the game.
That's right, yeah.
Well, it backfired on me. That team,
so the only chance you could win.
We were playing Andalusia, so what Andalusia does, they're up by 8. They bring a guy out to practice an extra point, and he made it.
Yeah.
We were down by 9, but we still almost ran the kickoff back.
Yeah, well, that was
anyway.
There's
all
So when y'all were in junior high, did y'all kick many extra points, or did y'all go for 2 much?
I didn't in Troy, but when I was in Georgia, we were like 11 or 14 in extra points.
Yeah.
But another thing that I hope high school coaches know about is that, say at the end of the half, say it's whatever the score is, and you force them to punt out of the end zone, I'd have 3 people back deep calling a fair catch.
Yeah.
Get a fair catch. You tell the referee we want a free kick.
Yeah.
The team that punted has to back up 10 yards. You can bring a kickoff tee to the field, and if your kickoff guy can kick that ball through the goalpost, you get 3 points.
Yeah.
It's called a free kick.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
yeah,
people have
right.
won games doing that.
But you got, like you said, but you got to
catch it. You got to call a fair catch, and you got to catch it clean. Right. Then you tell the referee we want a free kick.
And did we ever find out if our guy came into the game? I don't know.
Renfro?
Yeah.
Zach Long is the kickoff starter.
But did somebody, am I blind? I thought for sure he actually.
Renfro wears 40, Zach Long wears 46.
Yeah, okay. I missed. Of course, I want to congratulate.
You had a problem in that Troy game, though. I was telling Dad, we were sitting there watching it, and, App State was just burning that clock at the very end on that last drive. And,
yeah, that's right.
Down there, Troy gets the ball back with no time left and 1 timeout. So, thank goodness, Troy did have the goal line stand and stop them, because I kept on screaming and hollering like Troy could get the ball back with no time left.
Yeah.
Because we only had 1 timeout ourselves.
There's 2 kids I want to mention. Since you mentioned the Renfro, Scott Taylor Renfro. His brother, Cade Renfro, is a senior at Pike LeVar.
Yeah.
There's another kid by the name of Davis Kilcrease, who's a senior at Pike LeVar. Yeah. You talking about sacrifice? They both were mainly defensive players. Now they start as offensive linemen by necessity. But the sacrifice that they've had to make, they've never played probably on the offensive line before in their life.
Yeah.
But that just shows you the kind of dividends and character that is being displayed on a daily basis at practice, in the school. I just want to mention those 2 kids' names.
Growing up, though, when y'all played, everybody played both ways most of the time. All the great athletes did.
Well, we had 2 at Goshen. We had about 18 players.
Our show is brought to you by Premier Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram trucks on the bypass right here in Troy. And, of course, it's always good to see my good friend Jason Gregory and all that staff there busy with all kinds of great deals on new and used cars and used cars, and we appreciate them very much. We'll be back right after this.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
Troy Cable Security Wi-Fi doorbell camera allows you to answer the door from your smartphone when you are at home, at work, or on the go. When a visitor presses the button, Troy Cable Security sends a live video feed to your smartphone so you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door. With the doorbell camera, you can have your porch light turn on automatically when it detects motion at night to create the appearance that someone is at home. You can view video clips so you can always know who stopped by when you are out. Troy Cable Security. You love them. Protect them.
These teenage years can be tricky to navigate, especially when it comes to teaching my son about managing money. I'm thankful for helpful tools like Sidekick from Max. With Sidekick, requesting and rewarding money is easy. He can earn it by completing chores, making honor roll, or simply making a request from his own app. I love that I can easily monitor his purchases and set limits to help him learn to make smart choices with his spending, even on video games. Sidekick. Find it in your Max app.
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
Back to play, ladies and gentlemen, here at our facilities on South Brundage Street. As we're glad to have you with us. Brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Looking for a career in the trucking industry, the place to go is Wiley Sanders Truck Lines in Troy, Alabama. Of course, want to mention the Goshen Eagles again, 60-28 over Lafayette. And, boy, he's got them playing well right now.
Mm-hmm. Goshen will play host to Kinston this Friday. It's homecoming at Goshen. So it is a non-region game. But Goshen now has a record of 3-2. Last year, I think they won only one game to beat Pike County. Right. So Don Moore is in his second year at Goshen, so congratulations to them.
Done a super job. Had a lot of patience, and the Goshen people had a lot of patience. That's something about Goshen. It doesn't seem like they jump the gun on anybody. They give everybody a shot at being successful.
Well, there's a lot of factors of when you have down years. And being from Goshen, one of the issues you got to face every year is the location of your school as it relates to Pike County. You're in the corner down there about a mile or two, less than 2 miles from the Crenshaw County line. So all your kids have to come from this away towards Spring Hill, the dividing line's a highway, and you go all the way up to Pike County on the Montgomery County line, right. And then you got to deal with that. Yeah. Well, what has happened? COVID hit. Yeah. We lost players to another school. Yeah. Kids were academically eligible. Kids, hey, we're not going to be good. I'm not going to play. So Coach Moore last year, as he rose into Goshen, I did some public address for them when Keith, retired after so many years, Keith Snyder. So I think juniors and seniors combined, Goshen had 6. Total of 6 juniors and seniors. Uh-huh. So when you line up against another team that's got 25 to 30 juniors and seniors, guess what? You're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
As far as like you're saying, like going towards China Grove, that area, towards Red Schoolhouse.
Yeah.
How early?
Cut off for Goshen.
Yeah, they go all the way to that part of Pike County.
How early? Let me ask this question, Michael. For a kid that lives at the north side of Pike County, what time does he have to get up to catch the bus?
My guess, if he gets on the bus, it's going to be between 6 and 6:30.
Oh, 6
you got to make a bunch of stops.
I thought it would be more than that.
It could be. I don't know. But then the key is you get them to school, and they want to play ball. How you going to get them home?
Yeah.
They had to take them home or depend on a kid that has a driver's license that is okay with the parents. Yeah. Hey, can my son ride home with y'all? So that's a constant. Yeah. But
well, you really surprised me. I would have thought it was 5:30.
It could be. I don't know the logistics of transportation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, they get on that bus now. They'll get to eat breakfast before school starts. That's one good thing.
Well, a lot of times they'll probably eat breakfast at Goshen.
Yeah,
because they'll get there early enough for breakfast.
That's what I was thinking about. You'd be eating breakfast after you get to school.
But that's a logistics thing.
Yeah.
Brundage, there's not a logistics issue because most of those kids live in that area. Charles Henderson, Luverne area. Brantley area. Now, Highland Home may have a little bit of logistics because they're in the upper part of Crenshaw County, which is on the Montgomery County line. But it's like the pendulum swings from time to time. And now, through the course of Coach Moore, some of those kids are eligible this year. Some of those kids decided to play. The kids that they lost in the past did not come back to Goshen. They either graduated from another school or they elected to go to another one. But Goshen now is in the row, and now their JV program is kind of picking up. I'm sure Pee Wee is picking up because of and it's just the cycle, I think, is swinging. But you're going to have to.
Don't you think Highland Home has to get some kids out of Montgomery County, though, to go play there? That's so close.
I don't know how that works, to be honest with you, Mike. If they had to pay to come
they're
in.
literally right on the line.
They're on the line.
Yeah. You know, shame on.
You know good and well those parents and the family of those kids would rather them go there than have to drive them all the way into Montgomery.
Yeah, sure, if you're right there on the line. But as far as a community that lives right across the line, you know, and there again, some of those kids may go to Hooper Academy, but, you know, that's in that area. Some of them may go to Crenshaw. But Highland Home, I'm telling you, they're on a row of, they've got a lot of youth on that team, although they got some stud buckets that are seniors. But
I don't know how Tuscaloosa Academy is doing overall, but to beat Lamar County 42-7, Tuscaloosa County is in its first year in Alabama Independent School. And my Shame on You Award, do y'all know who it was? My Shame on You Award was Reeltown 76, Barber County nothing. That's my shame on you, Reeltown. Jackie O'Neill, I don't know if he's still the GOAT.
Troy got a great wide receiver out of
Reeltown,
Barber County about 8 or 9 years ago, Emmanuel Thompson. You remember how good he was?
Oh, really, a great player, yeah. Sure was.
Tuscaloosa Academy, they are 3-2. They beat Holy Spirit 45-12. They lost to American Christian 35-0. They lost to Aliceville 41-20. They defeated Greene County 26-16. They defeated Lamar County 34-7. And they play whoever the University Charter School is this week. But the key is they made the transition.
They sure did.
Earlier, which allowed them to be in a region, which makes them more competitive with who they're playing.
Exactly right.
And it did not, just for the circumstances, when Pike Liberal Arts was accepted, everybody had a full schedule around here, except who? The people nobody wants to play.
Yeah.
Or the teams that had to open, and usually those were the bigger schools. Had to go to Georgia and pick up 2 or 3 games, picked up 2 or 3 from Florida. They'll have to do the same thing next year.
But they will do the same thing.
They got to play. Yeah, it's a 2-year cycle.
Oh boy!
And then every 2 years, the Alabama High School Athletic Association, they look at all the schools and then they'll pair them up: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A.
But a lot of those kids do wear a ring on both hands. Isn't that right?
Right. Now, all other sports: volleyball, softball, basketball, baseball, golf, tennis, all of those other sports at Pike Liberal Arts are eligible for the playoffs.
That includes basketball.
Yes, basketball too.
Oh, yeah.
But next year, football will not be eligible because they're not in the area. Unless, I guess this could happen, say a team in this area decides to give up football, well, will they allow Pike Liberal Arts to take their spot for 1 year? I don't know if that's the answer or not, or could that even happen? Because Alabama High School Athletic Association, they're their own entity and they're the boss.
No question about it. But I just wanted to take one final look at last week's games. Like you mentioned, Thursday night at the stadium, huge game between St. James and Charles Henderson, and then Pike County plays on Friday against a good Headland team. Boy, let's look at Pike County. Do they get any kind of scheduling break? It looks like every week they got a tough game.
Well, I think there's 8 or 9 teams in that area.
Yeah.
I think there's 9 teams. So you're automatically going to have to play 8 region opponents. I can look that up.
And want to remember, and like you said, volleyball is really Pike Liberal goes up against Highland Home in volleyball.
Yep. Well, after Headland, they play New Brockton, Providence Christian, then they're open, and then they play Daleville, then they play Houston Academy. And all those are region games.
All right. The last 4. I mean, you do it one more time.
You got Headland. They play Headland this week. Non-region.
All right,
Non-region.
non-region, okay.
New Brockton is a region next week.
All right, they'll handle that one.
Providence Christian at home.
I think they'll do that, handle it. And
Daleville away.
They'll handle Daleville.
Houston Academy at home.
Gonna be a good one. Houston Academy. I think Pike. I think they got plenty enough room to make the playoffs and be good, be successful.
Right.
I can see Coach Hurt saying, "Man, give us these last 4 games. We'll win all these games, be in the playoffs, and hey, that's when you start a new season when you get to the playoffs."
I'll tell you what. You look up and the kids that they started with. I mean, when you look up, they got 60+ players.
That's right. Yeah.
And it looks like
it's the best looking team I've ever seen as far as
that
numbers.
picture. It was like this: posture,
Yeah.
no expression.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Yeah.
it's called discipline.
Exactly right. And they're gonna be awesome in the years to come. And they've got great players. Some people say, some people compare their star guy, his name is Ian Foster, with our big Pike Liberal. Charles Henderson star in DeJuan Boyd. They say those two are the two of the best players in the state of Alabama. Is that right?
I'd say they're in the top 50.
Yeah. And so
top 40.
Yeah, and with Boyd, all you have to do is just throw it up there. He's not that tall, but he can just leap. He has great leaping ability.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's going to be a big game with Headland. Headland's got a good program, and see, it's not going to be a region game, so Goshen should easily handle Kinston, Pleasant Home, and Zion Chapel. I'm looking here for Zion Chapel to win their second game or third game? Second game.
Second.
So root hard for Zion Chapel. Arrington at Strawn. Now, I want you to hear this. Strawn will beat Arrington. Strawn will beat Arrington. They're coached by a guy that starred at
Is it one of the Kilcreases?
One of the Kilcreases, Ashley Kilcrease.
And he's got the two Lowry brothers and their dad help him.
Oh yeah,
David, Andrew, and Trey.
Yeah. So that's going to be a great game. I'm going to say Strawn.
Arrington at Strawn.
Yeah, Arrington at Strawn. Highland Home at Brantley, and boy, what a game that's going to be on a Thursday night.
Yeah, I think Brantley beat them last year, 40-something to 20-something. And then, next week is Highland Home. We'll have to travel to Luverne.
Their schedule is just tough. I mean, they can't duck anybody. I tell you.
Those now the Luverne game is an area game.
Yeah.
And but this Brantley game is this part of Alabama football typically is a non-region week. Non-region opponents.
Well, I tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. And of course, football, college-wise, West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Syracuse, Duke, and Kansas. Hey, somebody got to beat Kansas.
Right.
Duke's supposed to be pretty good. Baylor and Iowa State, big game there. Clemson and Wake Forest, big game there. TSU and SMU.
Does it have a volleyball schedule today?
Yeah, well,
I know Marshall will travel to Luverne.
This is not today's schedule, though.
But it may have it there. Does it have it?
It says, it doesn't say, this was yesterday's paper, so.
There's Tuesday. There's today's
Tuesday.
right there.
All right, there we
volleyball.
Pike Liberal at Strawn.
Greenville at Charles Henderson.
Yeah.
Does it have a Goshen on there? See, they may not cover Goshen. Dothan may not because
they need to though. They need.
And
I'm gonna talk to John. John's a real good friend of mine, and I'm gonna talk to him about covering more of we don't get a lot of Brantley deals down to that part of the country either.
Because it's on that side of Alabama.
That's right. You're right.
And to me, Dothan is a little bit ahead of the Montgomery Advertiser when it comes to local.
It's got a breakdown of Troy. Troy got 25 first downs compared to 23. Troy total offense 359, and Appalachian was 356.
456.
Yeah, 456. And our quarterback threw for 302 yards, and the guy from Appalachian 495. Hope you enjoyed our show today. I appreciate Forrest and all that he does for this show. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, today in L.A.
Have a good day.
That's Lower Alabama now.
Our wide selection of pre-owned vehicles looks so good, you'll think they're new.
So take the short drive to Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Ford, Troy, Alabama.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more.